Hello, and welcome to Longwood GradCast, Beyond a Degree. I'm your host and Assistant Dean of the College of Graduate and Professional Studies, Dr. Sarah Tanner Anderson. In this series, we'll dive deep into the stories of Longwood University's graduate and professional studies alumni, students, and faculty who are achieving remarkable success. Whether you're an aspiring graduate student, a proud alum, or simply curious about the extraordinary journeys our Longwood graduates take beyond their degree, this podcast is your backstage pass to the transformative power of education coupled with determination. Get ready to be inspired, motivated, and awed by stories that prove there are no limits to what a Longwood Lancer can achieve. Welcome to Longwood GradCast, Beyond the Degree. I am your host, Sarah Tanner Anderson, and I am so excited to chat today with Alicia Alvarez, a double Lancer and current student in our Communication Sciences and Disorders Master's Program, focusing on speech-language pathology. Alicia, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here, and I'm ready to hear what you have for me.
We are so thrilled to have you, and we can tell already that you have this infectious, positive energy and upbeat personality about you. Folks who know you well have described you as changing the entire mood of a room when you enter. So how do you think these traits have influenced you and maybe your academic and personal journey here at Longwood University?
I'm actually a transfer student into Longwood. So I knew that when I got here, I wanted to make sure that I stayed true to who I was and that I didn't forget anything that I learned along the journey to get here. And I think it really just helped me make friends, get connected on campus. And it really helped keep the energy up in the classroom just to make sure that everybody's having fun and that we're all learning. And I think it's something it's nice to have, but it's a blessing and a curse because if you're down, you bring everybody else down.
I totally understand. I feel like you are describing me right now because I've also been called particularly upbeat and not lacking in enthusiasm. But also, like me and others, because Longwood seems to do this, you have been heavily involved in the Longwood community, both as an undergraduate and as a graduate student. So what do you enjoy most about the community here? And what have been some meaningful moments during your activities at Longwood?
That's a great question. I think that my favorite part about being involved in everything has been just getting to know people. And I knew that it was really important to me to have a small, tight-knit community. And that's what really drew me to Longwood. When I transferred to community college, I had a plan in place. And as soon as I got there, I was like, okay, I'm starting here at Bright Point Community College. And then I'm going to Longwood University to study speech-language pathology. So I came with a plan in place, and I knew that I was really drawn to the campus because of the small, tight-knit community and how much everybody was super happy to be here and the infectious energy of being a Lancer. It's a wonderful just opportunity to be here.
I agree with you. I think being a Lancer is something very special. And you mentioned the tight-knit community, and you mentioned just being connected with people and having a plan in place. How do you think these experiences then here on campus have helped shape you and your skills and prepared you for a future career as a speech-language pathologist?
So a lot of the skills that I've learned here have been to be a leader and being a citizen leader. So going out into the community and saying, how can I best serve the community that I'm going into? And so that has been really hard hitting, especially here. We have Joan of Arc, who's been a huge representative of that. And so through the curriculum that we've learned and being able to implement that citizen leadership, I think have really helped shape me into who I am and what a Lancer is and how I can use that going forward.
That's excellent. Thank you so much, Alicia. And yes, you mentioned that citizen leadership. You mentioned what it means to be a Lancer, that getting into the community and doing good work with your community. Do you have any standout moments or experiences that maybe have shaped your pathway into communication sciences and disorders in the master's program?
I do actually. So I am the oldest of 4 kids. Shout out to my siblings. And so growing up, one of my siblings, Melissa, she actually had a speech impediment. So she couldn't say her R's or her F's, seeing her go through speech and others around her not maybe being sure of what she was saying, and then watching her go to speech in school and being excited about it, and then seeing her communication to transform before all of our eyes was really inspiring to me. And I think I always held on to it because I hadn't thought about doing speech pathology till I got into college. I actually went to VCU before I was in community college. And while I was there, I took a survey and I was really in depth, and it took 2 hours to do. And what it did is it took all of the skills and interests that I had, and it spit out like our top 5 jobs. And one of my top 5s was speech language pathologist. And I was like, oh my goodness gracious, I had never even thought about that. I would love to do that. And thus that's where it all came together. But I think it just is truly inspiring to know that there's a profession out there that helps people communicate and express themselves in any way that they need to. You don't think about how important and how much we can take that for granted every day. So I'm really happy and excited to be able to go into that field to serve others that way.
That's wonderful, Alicia. And aside from your sister, are there any other clients maybe who have pushed you into continuing to pursue this pathway? Any moments that maybe continue to shape your drive and passion for this work?
Oh, definitely. Especially now that I get to work with clients. I've had so many just wonderful clients. They're all so funny. They all have different, unique, just things that they're coming to see us for. So I've had experiences in working with a client who utilizes an AAC device, which is an alternative augmentative communication device. So essentially it's like an iPad, and he uses a special application to form sentences. And so learning about how important AAC is for clients who are nonverbal and helping them express themselves and communicate their wants and needs and how important that is, and being part of helping him along that journey has been it's been a beautiful experience. And I'm so thankful to have that because he was my first client that I had here. And we also worked on feeding, which a lot of people don't know that speech pathologists actually work in that field. That it's such a broad field to be in. And so we work from cognitive things to feeding to helping people say their R's, which is what most people know us for. And I actually did have a client that I did have to help with R's. So I guess they're not wrong when they say that. But like I said, just truly inspiring to see all different clients from different walks and backgrounds, and seeing how we can make that difference is just an amazing opportunity to have. And it really is what keeps us going. I thought clinic was going to be the hardest part of grad school, but it's actually been the easiest.
It sounds like you're getting some really great experiences with lots of different learning opportunities, being able to help lots of diverse people and lots of diverse personalities, but also to assist with many different speech language pathology issues that you might encounter out in your own field and practice, which is outstanding. So you mentioned all of these incredible experiences. It sounds to me like you have this really incredible experience coming up that I'm hoping you can tell us a little more about. So you're getting ready to go on a mission trip to Peru, and it sounds incredible. It sounds impactful. What do you hope to learn while you're there, personally and professionally? Tell me all about it.
Okay. The founder of the CSD graduate program, Dr. Lissa Power-Defer, I got to know her a little bit when I was an undergrad because she was the interim dean for our department. And so I got to know her a little bit in undergrad. And then she came back in the fall out of retirement to come and teach our advanced articulation course. And I really got to know her a little bit better. I also was a recipient of her scholarship, her first recipient of it, which was also it was super funny the way it all worked out because I found out I got the scholarship. I started school in the fall, and then she was teaching my class. So it was really nice that I got to spend time with her and get to know her and learn all of the things that she has that are important towards our field. So it's actually a funny story. She didn't know how to say my name. She kept calling me Alicia, and I was like, hey, it's actually Alicia. And so I think that sort of helped build our relationship because it was, sometimes I don't really tell people. I just let them say it incorrectly. But when I was working with her and I told her, and she was like, oh, thank you for telling me. I'm glad I know that now. And she knows about my background because I am a Latina in a predominantly white field. And there's not a lot of bilingual speech therapists. And I would consider myself more conversational in my Spanish speaking skills. And it's important to have that. But I guess she kept that in mind because then when I came back for the fall semester, she reached out to me and said, "Hey, Alicia, I'm going to Peru on a mission trip with my church. I'm going to be providing hearing screenings. We're going to a children's home in Arequipa, Peru." And she says that she's providing hearing screenings because that's a skill that she has and is something that she's able to provide these children. And actually all the community members that are part of that organization, it's called New Hope Children's Home in Arequipa. But she's able to offer this skill that she has in her profession. And she asked if I would come and help interpret and help ease the trip in that way. So I was so surprised that she had kept me in mind and that she wanted to take me with her, because we'll spend from June 30th to July 8th, I believe, is when we're coming back in Peru. So she wants to spend that time with me, and I'm really grateful that she does.
I think that's incredible. And I love the connections that you've been able to make with your professors and your colleagues, and then being able to really take the work that you do out into the field in a meaningful way. I think that's so exciting. And I can't wait to hear all about it when you get back. And from what I understand, the Longwood College of Graduate and Professional Studies is funding the travel for your mission trip. So how does it feel to have this support from your graduate college, and what impact do you anticipate it will have on your future career?
I had no idea where to begin. I was given this opportunity and I said yes without even taking a second thought about it, because I knew that this was a special opportunity. And so when I was speaking to Dr. Power Defer about it, she suggested that maybe I could reach out to a few organizations and see if maybe they could offer some support, since I am a grad student. I'm working a little bit, but I don't have that much money to be able to just fly out to Peru. So I reached out to Dr. Perry and I let her know about the opportunity that I was going to be doing this with Dr. Power Defer. And she immediately was asking how she could help. And I just felt so inspired by that, because she could tell how important this was to not only me, but how important it could be for that community to have somebody come in and provide that service of doing hearing screenings for the children out there. And so she immediately was looking for ways to be able to help support me in that way, and suggested that I reach out to a couple other people as well. So they all definitely gave me different directions and advice on how to go about it.
Dr. Perry is pretty amazing, is she?
She
Not?
is.
And so is Dr. Power Defer. And so you have two incredible mentors and supports to help you with this trip. But as you prepare for your trip, what do you think might be the most challenging aspect of the trip, or maybe what's the most exciting about the trip?
I think the most exciting thing is to be able to go out internationally as a graduate student with knowledge that I've learned in the classroom, and being able to provide that to people where it may be a little bit more difficult to receive services, especially for hearing screenings and language services, because I think we're also talking about taking some language screeners out there to assess some of the kids. So that to me is the most exciting part. I think what's a little nerve-wracking is going somewhere that I've never been before, in a language that I didn't grow up speaking, but that I've acquired along my academic journey. So I think that could be a little nerve-wracking, but I don't know. I think it definitely, all the excitement about it and all the work that we'll be doing, I think overshadows anything that I could be worried about.
It sounds like you are going to be in good company and going somewhere where you can really make a difference. So I'm excited to hear how all of this sort of comes about, how you're able to use your skills and everything that you've learned here at Longwood to really help a community who can really benefit from your skills and your expertise. You have many accomplishments, and you've shared some of them here with us today. Can you share any challenges that you might have faced during your academic journey and how you've worked to overcome them? Because sometimes it's incredible. We get to talk with folks who are doing all these great things, but just to pause and recognize some of the harder parts of the journey, sometimes that's the good stuff. That's what folks can learn from. So what might you share with us today?
Oh man, I've had a lot of difficulties, I'd say, but not actually, but I definitely something that I've really tried to hone into, especially now being a graduate student, has been my organizational skills and time management. That is something that I have been working on for a little over a year now, trying to really figure out what options there are to be able to help me manage my time and to plan out my days. Everybody here has a planner, and I got through undergrad. I didn't need a planner. I didn't need a planner for grad school. There's no way. And then I got to grad school and I was like, holy cow, I need a planner. And so I went to Walmart. So in the fall, I got through about halfway through the semester and I was like, okay, I think I definitely need a planner. There are a lot of moving parts between managing class, managing meetings that I have, group projects, homework, and then also my clients that I meet with, and then planning for seeing my clients on a weekly basis. So I went to Walmart and I bought a planner and I wrote out the rest of the assignments that I had for the semester, and that was that. And I never opened it again. After I put in all of those assignments, I never looked at it again. And I was like, oh my goodness, why did I buy this if I wasn't going to use it? And everybody was saying, oh, just put it in your phone calendar. And I was putting the wrong times and the wrong dates in my phone calendar. And I was like, this is a mess. How am I going to figure out what to do? And thankfully, in our program, in the grad program, we're a particularly small program. We're not very big. So we have the attention of all of our staff that's in the back that works with us, all of our professors and clinical supervisors. And I went and spoke to pretty much everyone individually. And I was like, hey, I am having a hard time managing my time and organizing myself. Please help me. And everybody offered me so many different tips, from make sure that you're planning out when you're studying and plan out when you're doing this or that. You should write it down, put it in your phone, set alarms. So I took all of the advice that was given to me. And I think what really helped me last semester was a friend gifted me, just funny enough, he gifted me with a planner that was called like the Time Box, I think. And I didn't understand how to use it at first, but then I went through and it plans out your day hour by hour, and it leaves you space to put down the top priorities of things that you'd like to get done for the day. And then there's a big space where you can do like a brain dump of assignments or whatever it is that you need to do. And so using that actually helped me overcome this hurdle that I had, and little things along the way with, okay, start getting myself prepared to leave the night before, write out everything that I need to get done the next day, the night before. And so having, I think, the help of people around me who were already kind of experts in time management, and then receiving the advice from my classmates who are all wonderful, I think really helped me overcome that hurdle. But I think asking for help, managing my time, those were all things that I had a little bit of a hard time doing. So I'm glad that I was able to work through that.
And in the same vein, you mentioned scheduling everything and being very thoughtful about all of the tasks ahead of you. How do you prioritize self-care? How do you maintain that healthy work-life balance in a field that's a demanding field?
It's something that I'm still learning. It's definitely, I think that it feels like you always have to have everything figured out. And I've learned that's not necessarily true. I can always work to better myself, find new ways to help balance those things. I think sleep is really important. I know that I turn into a 3-year-old if I'm not getting enough sleep, which, as we all know, it can get away from you very quickly. That's sleep is sometimes the first thing to go. I think also being able to have that support really helped with that as well. I work for Bright Point Community College as a student support specialist remotely when I'm here. And so knowing that my work is also very supportive of me finishing my degree and getting through school, and knowing that they can work around that schedule as well, that helped me a lot. So that helps me to prioritize like my schoolwork and my homework. And then being here in the program, the professors and the clinical supervisors are always reminding us that, hey, take a break from the clinic. Make sure that you're taking breaks. Don't spend all your time here. You're not allowed to live in the clinic. Having that also helped me to find that balance. Okay, I know that I can't just work, and I know that I can't just worry about school, and I know that I need to have a social life because I'm definitely a social creature. So I think it's one of those things where you got to pick through and find that time to be able to do that. I think has really helped me. And then just finding like little joys. It's nice to be able to come home and sit down for about 10 minutes and call that a little bit of self-care. Making breakfast or making lunch or dinner, that also has really helped as well to, I guess, not feel so selfish if I'm taking that time. But like I said, it's an ongoing thing. It's something that I'm always trying to get a little bit better at every day.
I would argue that everyone is probably always trying to do a better job to balance and to prioritize self-care. You mentioned that you are a student support specialist at Brightpoint Community College while you're working on your graduate degree full-time. So you talked a little bit about how you balance those two things. Does your learning here at Longwood in your CSD program support the work that you're doing at Brightpoint? Does it overlap?
In some capacity, I guess it could overlap a little bit. I'm interested, once I graduate, in working with adult clients in traumatic brain injuries and strokes, potentially. That's what I think for now. But being able to work with the adult population in the work that I do over at Brightpoint has been really helpful in understanding that sort of that balance between, okay, with a little kid, you can speak a certain way, you can laugh and play with them. And then with adults, it's a little bit different. So I think in that capacity, it's helped. And I think also just having a good work ethic between the two has helped to balance that out as well. And then I think that's really it, because there's two totally different sort of careers, but in some capacity, they overlap.
Awesome. It sounds like you have had lots of experiences, lots of opportunities. So, Alicia, what advice would you offer to undergraduate students who might be considering a master's degree in communication sciences and disorders?
I would say to take every opportunity that's presented to them, really seek out help if you need it. I would also say that maybe if you're on the fence about pursuing the degree right away, if you want to take some time, Longwood offers, it's in the CSD program, they offer an SLPA, so a speech language pathologist assistant pathway for those students. So if you want to take some time and really make sure that's something that you want to do, we do have that opportunity available for them to take that. And then if you are considering to go straight into grad school, I would say that it's a wonderful journey. It's really nice to have everybody who's so goal-focused and interested in being in the same field. If you love to talk and if you love to help people, that this is a great field for you and something that you should really consider going into.
That is excellent advice, Alicia. Thank you for sharing that with us today. Finally, looking back on your journey from being an undergraduate to a graduate student here at Longwood, what advice might you give to your younger self?
I would say that it's okay to make mistakes, that you can try something and fail, and that's okay. And I would probably also tell myself that it's okay to not know right now. I think I definitely spent a lot of time trying to figure out what I needed to do right then and there at an early age. And I didn't really need to have all the answers right then and there. So I think just being able to take that time, enjoy the journey, and not having to have everything figured out right away, I think is really important and something that I wish I had learned a lot sooner.
Is there anything else that you would like to share with our listeners today, Alicia?
I think that I would like to share just a huge congratulations to everyone who's going through the journey of going through grad school. I know it's not an easy feat, but it's something that's so special and so important and not something that everybody has the opportunity to do. And then just a good luck to everyone who's maybe finishing grad school. So I would just say congratulations to those people as well.
Thank you so much, Alicia. We have appreciated your time and you sharing your story, your pathway, your journey, and we can't wait to see what is next for you. And so from all of us here at Longwood GradCast Beyond the Degree, we will see you next time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Longwood GradCast Beyond the Degree. We hope these stories have sparked motivation and empowerment, shining a spotlight on the incredible potential within Longwood's graduate and professional studies community. Leadership is in our blood. Is it in yours? We're here to support your educational journey and career aspirations. To explore our graduate programs and professional endorsement, head over to our website at longwood.edu/grad programs.